Welcome to FairHEX. My name is Ricarda, and I will lead you through today's presentation. I will show you in detail how FairHEX works and how exactly you will benefit from using FairHEX when you stake your HEX. You will see an easy-to-understand introduction to the platform. As a HEX holder, you should know about FairHEX. It provides you with the safety aspects you are used to since FairHEX has integrated the official HEX staking contract and adds various benefits for stakers and holders of the token. Daniel, FairHEX co-founder, will gladly answer your questions and respond to your inquiries. Before we begin, let me quickly show you where you will find the white paper and contract addresses. Here is the white paper, and on the bottom of the staking page, you find the contracts linked from the FAQ section. We will break down FairHEX for you in 4 key points. What objectives does FairHEX pursue to serve? And what is the benefit for you to choose FairHEX over other HEX staking platform options? To understand why FairHEX works for you, we will get you acquainted with the platform's key numbers you want to keep an eye on. These numbers also help you find the best strategy for your long-term game theory, its implications, and possibilities. That much for now. The sooner you begin minting your free FairHEX, the more you will get in return as long as HEX plays a role in the market. We show you easy-to-follow illustrated what has been coded. There are no admin keys. The contract is closed and immutable. And finally, we give a few of many quick insights on various game theories for you to begin with. What can be said upfront is, however your plan is, it never decides between profitable or not. It helps to find the difference between better and optimal. First of all, FairHEX provides a significantly higher yield for HEX stakers. I think that is a given and not dependent on your strategy. FairHEX has a total supply of 21 million. Only 5 million can be minted by staking your HEX and is not bound on any other condition. It is free and an advantage for early stakers. At the time of this recording, only about 400,000 have been minted. I will get back to the implications during the following slides. By providing all options that HEX staking offers, including hedge-fund minting and the official yield, FairHEX is a considerable element of the HEX ecosystem. The platform helps to stake more HEX, especially by offering maximum returns for short-term stakes. The platform is easy to use and provides excellent returns for all participants. For participants who love to strategize for higher gains and build an advantage for themselves for the long haul, this is the place to be when it comes to HEX. FairHEX is part of the HEX ecosystem. Once you stake your HEX, they will be part of the data shown in the picture. These data are essential to understand the basics and describing the implications of using the platform and developing your advanced strategies over time. As there is a 21 million total supply, the 19.3 million displayed in the bonus pool is still locked. This results in a current supply of less than 2 million in circulation. There are only 2 possibilities coded to release that supply. During the minting phase, every new stake triggers the FairHEX bonus pool to credit the minted amount to your wallet. That happens immediately upon signing the start stake contract. The total to date minted FairHEX tokens is shown on the right-hand side, which is about 410,000 at the moment of recording this presentation. The stake balance section shows the currently staked total HEX amount by stakers through FairHEX into the official HEX contract. All stakes combined represent the to-date yield volume in HEX. That yield volume grows daily until stakes mature and are successfully unstaked. For example, the stake balance shows 21.79 million HEX, creating a total yield of 161,000 HEX. Since most stakes have a different start stake date, the to-date yield volume of 100,000 HEX is displayed. Successfully ended stakes, according to the rules of the official HEX contract, will receive a bonus on top of what is paid by the hex.com contract. The bonus table is viewable in the FAQ section at the bottom of the website. It ranges between 20% if the total staking balance shows 200 million and above staked HEX through the platform, and reaches 40% for a staking volume lower than 10 million. the FairHEX rate on the left side is the current token price, pulled from the decentralized exchange. And here is how it all works. You want to stake your HEX with all the official contract benefits. That includes the possibility of minting hedron. But you came here to get additional returns on top of what you are familiar with. When you stake your HEX on the FairHEX platform, the FairHEX staking contract calls the official HEX contract, where your HEX will be staked. The code is immutable, and the FairHEX team, including dev, has no physical possession over your stake. At the same time, the staking contract sends a minting call to the bonus pool, where your minted FairHEX tokens are released and credited immediately after signing the start stake transaction. Upon your unstaking transaction, the official HEX contract transfers your HEX principal plus yield to the FairHEX staking contract. The principal is automatically transferred back to your wallet and the minted hedron if you have enabled that option. Since minting hedron can incur a slightly higher transaction fee, we leave it up to you if you want to allow minting hedron. The HEX yield that the contract received from hex.com is automatically transferred to the decentralized exchange to be converted into FairHEX. That creates buy pressure on FairHEX. Time synchronous, the FairHEX staking calls the bonus pool to pay you the extra FairHEX on top of the initial yield. Based on the FairHEX HEX exchange rate, your HEX yield is converted to FairHEX to the real-time price. That means it pays you the exact value of your HEX yield in FairHEX tokens. Based on that amount of FairHEX tokens, your bonus is calculated and credited to your wallet. For that particular matter, the FairHEX token price is irrelevant. In case you want to sell your yield plus bonus for more HEX immediately, you will always have a higher HEX return arriving in your wallet than by staking into the official contract directly. In summary, you have just received all amenities of the official HEX contract. In addition, you have minted FairHEX and received a higher yield through the bonus paid on top of the initial yield amount. And why do you want to have FairHEX tokens at all? Besides a constant buy pressure on FairHEX without active buyers, the tokenomics provides not only a high probability of price appreciation, but also rewards holders of the FairHEX token with free HEX generated from cells. Let me repeat that. Holders of the FairHEX tokens are rewarded with HEX from transactions, including cells. Every cell incurs a fee of 5%. Now put that in perspective. Stakers receive between 20 and 40% more on their stake, and if they decide to sell, a 5% are on the other side of the equation. That means a clear net increase of their yield. The minting phase is limited to 5 million token only, or in other words, once 600 million HEX have been staked on the platform, the minting phase is over. It won't be easy for future stakers to gain the holder share you can now create by receiving free minted FairHEX tokens. They will either hold and buy additional FairHEX, which supports the price appreciation, or sell their total staking yield. This is where your currently minted FairHEX tokens become valuable. If they sell, you will receive HEX dividends from stakers who are happy to get much more yield than they would have by staking through any other platform. And that means HEX dividends for as long as HEX is staked. We are talking about many years to come. You have just set up a dividend-generating mechanism forever. The only two questions at this point are, how large do you want your holder share to be? When do you start minting FairHEX tokens for free? Thank you for being interested in FairHEX. Let's enjoy the HEX success story together. Since you made it to the end of the presentation, here are two examples that help to understand the implications of the built-in buy pressure on holder share and inflation. You can stop the video to let the numbers and correlations sink in. Example 1 shows the consequence on the price development if 5 stakes and stake and no one sells. While the value of your yield remains the same, the amount of FairHEX decreases gradually, as well as inflation. In example 2, you can see how the FairHEX HEX price influences your holder share. Depending on your goal, be it to sell your yield for more HEX right now or to accumulate for a higher holder share to receive free HEX dividends long term. You want to safely navigate and be familiar with these basic game theories to be ahead of the curve and to maximize your returns. And lastly, here are a few lines to wrap your mind around and for a deeper understanding of an ingeniously designed platform intending to increase your HEX holdings and make the HEX ecosystem more attractive. If FairHEX is expensive, inflation drops, and vice versa. If there are no stakers, there is no inflation. If there are stakers, there is inflation but also buy pressure. If multiple stakes end on the same day, the first person to end their stake gets more FairHEX if no one sells. If there are multiple stakes that end on the same day, the last person to end their stake gets more FairHEX if everyone sells. Welcome to FairHEX.